Greetings, Tiptoe Chick. This is in response both to your Religious Rant and Paul's 2007's response to it. I'm what I consider to be a deist, or deist. That is someone who is spiritual and who believes in a creator, but someone who also believes that the creator really has very little or nothing to do with organized religion. In my opinion, organized religion has a lot more to do with power, with subjugation of people, and the restriction of free thought than it really has to do with spirituality. Back at the beginning of civilization, religion was a pretty good tool. If you look at the Ten Commandments, it's a great way to set ground rules for civilization, for harmonious living in the tribe. You don't steal, don't commit murder, don't covet your neighbor's wife, honor your parents if they're still living. If the headman says it, it's a pretty good rule, but it carries a lot more weight if God says it. That way, if you break a rule, you just don't upset the headman of the village. You don't just piss off the villagers. You're going to have to face the wrath of God, which means that probably less people are going to break the rules. Plus, if anything bad should happen, then the headman can say that it's God's will that this should happen, instead of admitting that he made a bad decision. Religion also really messes with people's minds. It allows them to do things that really boggle the minds of other people that have actually learned how to think. You can commit all kinds of atrocities against your fellow man if you do it with God on your side. Just look at recent events with the Muslim faith, just as an example. You have death threats for a teacher who allowed her grade school children to name a teddy bear after their prophet. Hey, a lot of the students were named after the prophet. No one raised a fuss about that. But they were really pissed off about having the teddy bear named after him. They had death threats for Danish editorial cartoonists who drew an unflattering image of Muhammad for their newspapers. So that generated death threats. Not boycotting the newspapers, they actually wanted to kill the cartoonists. And on the Christian side, you have, for example, the Spanish Inquisition. Here in America, you have a strong religious backlash against gays, against agnostics, against atheists. You have the hardcore ones that are really against abortion, and so they consider that it's fine to go ahead and kill people as long as you do it for the religious reason that you're doing it to protect life. You have the controversy of the Mount Soledad Cross here in San Diego, being on public land. It's clearly unconstitutional, but the religious folk claim that it's a war memorial. It's a huge cross, but it's a war memorial. They don't allow any other religious symbols to be there on any scale, much less the same scale as the cross, but it's a war memorial. Okay. Then you have the morons who came out against reading programs for junior high school kids because one of the books was a Harry Potter book, which presented a positive view of witchcraft. Hello? It's fiction. It's make-believe. It's not real. And the Bible isn't real either. It's fiction. It's not the literal Word of God, no matter how much you want to spin it. It's written by man, allegedly with divine guidance. It's been translated by man, and there are whole sections of it that have been cut out for political reasons. It's a collection of parables that illustrate specific moral points. It's allegory. You're supposed to get the message behind the words and not focus on the words themselves. As far as the Quran goes, the Quran was written in the 14th century. It was good for the times of the 14th century, if you're living in the tribes. Doesn't really have a lot to do with the way that life is here in the 21st century. If you're going to take it literally and apply 14th century thinking against 21st century situations, there's going to be some conflicts. The ideas really don't work here unless you really consider women are second-class citizens. Slavery is okay. And everyone who disagrees with you on any subject whatsoever gets an automatic death sentence. If you believe that, hey, continue reading the Quran. It's all for you. Most people have learned to be a little bit more moderate with the way that they view the world. And going into the role of the church, this is something that really gets to me. Communication with God, whatever God you choose to worship, is supposed to be a one-on-one thing. You, as an individual, are praying to God for guidance. And you think about it, you get a little bit of guidance, God speaks back to you. You figure out how that's going to apply to whatever situation that you wanted it to. But again, it's one-on-one. Why do you need the church? Does God really need the pastor to act as a spam filter? And then once you get into that, you have the blatant hypocrisy that most of the religious people have. They say that they're Christians, but they've either haven't read the book for very long, or they miss completely on what the book says. That the whole message of Christianity is tolerance of other people and other lifestyles. It's love thy neighbor as thyself. Turn the other cheek if someone slaps you. If someone steals from you, if they steal your cloak, give them your tunic. It's not all about war, it's about getting along with people. And instead of that, we have the religious right that wants to go ahead and wage war on everybody that's not a Christian. You have the Muslims that want to declare a war not only on the people that aren't there, that don't believe in their faith, they go to war with people that are their faith. They just happen to have a little bit of different philosophy on it. You have the Sunnis and the Shiites that both are fairly hardcore fundamentalist Muslims, but they've been at war with each other for 700 years because of an interpretation of what Muhammad said. And because of that, because of something that happened 700 years ago, they're still at war with each other right now. You would have thought after 700 years, people would have learned how to think. Apparently not. Well, hopefully, within the next 700 years on our side, that we will either learn how to deal with each other, or we're going to blow the crap out of each other. So, I'm not confident on which one is going to be. But, oh well. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.